friends, welcome to episode 39 of Last Stitch Effort. My name is Pacasha and this is my knitting vlog where I talk about using up my stash. Yeah, that's it. So we'll just get right into it. The lighting's kind of weird because weather's weird, but I don't want to talk about the weather, so here we go. I am wearing today my Swirled Pentagon Pullover, and this is, I'll stand up. This is, shoot, it's kind of hard to show, but it's got a bunch of pentagons that are joined, and then you add like the body of the sweater to it. It's by Norah Gaughan, and it's from her book Knitting Nature, which came out several years ago. And I tried making another one a few years ago, but I couldn't get the tension right because it is a vastly different gauge doing these pentagons, because you do these and they're all kind of connected, and then you do the body, which is just like kind of a basic. It's a raglan, but not really. It's like pieced just to fit into these pentagons. And it's just like a straight kind of boxy pullover. Anyway, I made it several years ago. It was one of the first sweaters I actually ever made. And then I tried to make it again and I couldn't get the gauge right. Kind of repeating myself at this point. But I would like to make another one. It's a nice little sweater. It also has a half pentagon along the back, so that the back is, you know, higher, like you would want a sweater to be. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing. It's quite old. I think I used Cascade 220, some heathered color. I'm not sure what color it is, but yeah, that's what I'm wearing. What else? Let's just get right to it, shall we? Let's talk about FOs. I know I talked about this one last time, but I actually like finished it. So let me just reach down here. Got quite a pile going on here. So the last couple times I talked about doing the Dragonmoss Pillow by Eric Lutz. I don't know if the light will let you see the texture on this, so that's kind of better. But it's kind of like Gansey inspired stitches, just very simple knit and purl designs. And I used some kind of acrylic, I don't know. But anyway, I ended up cutting the pillow form and sewing that together and then just stitching it into it. I didn't do like a removable flap or anything because whatever, it's fine just how it is. So it's a nice little pillow, and that's ready to be destroyed by my cats. All right, now this you guys didn't see at all. I just picked up some like pardon me, I've been like getting over a cold. It's taking a long time, and everybody in my family is in various stages of dealing with this cold, and it's like really annoying, and I haven't been coughing too much lately. And then yesterday I decided to walk for a bit, and that kind of seems to have re-triggered some lung stuff. So I'm trying not to cough, and I'm trying not to sound too awful, but there's really not much I can do about that. So anyway, so these I inspire myself to use up some scraps, because I think last time I talked about how much I really do like to use up scraps, and I haven't really been, and I didn't really have a lot of scraps, and that's true. But I did piece together some little bits for these two hats, and they'll probably just go in like a donation bin. This one is kind of, the colors look much better in real life, I think, than this. But these are just leftovers. There's some hedgehog, there's some, I don't know, there's all kinds of stuff, some nitpick stuff. There's something with sparkle in here. Same with this, just little leftovers. These were mostly leftovers from my leftover sea glass sweater that I made over the summer. And I still have a few little bits left of some of these pinks and stuff, but for the most part that used up a significant amount of my sock stash leftovers, other than what I'm working on, which I'll show you in just a minute. But yeah, so I'll probably donate these. I like to do that. We have like those little, you know, like little libraries. We have a couple of those for food, like little food pantry things. And yeah, I may throw those in one of those because I always have something to go in those little libraries. So hopefully that will help somebody because it is getting cold around here. All right, a little wheezy. I also finished a pair of socks. I don't think I talked about these either because they went super fast. And these are made out of leftovers from my Clint shawl that I made. Shoot. I made it a few months ago and I'd been meaning to make like kind of matching socks out of the leftovers and now I can't remember. Oh yeah, I can. So these are Starflight socks by Allison Lutes, I think is her name. And the pattern came from this edition of Pom Pom that my friend Alisha let me use, or not let me use, she gave it to me, but yeah, there was no weird copyright stuff happening because she has 2 copies, just saying. Anyway, Starflight, orange flower Flora sock maybe, and Parsnip. This is some that I dyed myself, so back in the day my company was Younger Yarn. This is Shire string, which is the tweed base, and this was, I think it's Po-tay-toes because that's a Lord of the Rings reference. And this is what it looks like head on. So I finished these socks and they match my little shawl. And I have a dress that I'm ready to wear with that. So that is a whole outfit raring to go now. So now I get to wear these. Yay. Yeah. Ooh, they went really quickly. I'm pretty pleased with that. It was a really cool pattern. Very basic pattern. It was, you know, cuffed down and I don't know, it was easy to navigate. And let's see, what else? So this is kind of FO, but it's not really knitting FO, but I want to say it's knitting adjacent. I just had like some little leftovers. My friend Alisha at Edmiston Creations, she has a podcast too, and I'll link her below. She's also like pretty big on Instagram and stuff. She does amazing things. She makes like the coolest knits and she sews, and I mean, like, she's so talented and she makes really cool outfits, and she's, I don't want to say she's an enabler, but she kind of is. But in the best way. She enables me to be creative, which is really cool. Anyway, so she has a lot of experience with fabrics, and she's always willing to like give me little, you know, like when she cuts, I don't know, she gave me some beautiful linen to play with to decide if I wanted to order some. And it was so pretty. I hated to just like, it wasn't enough to really do anything. So I started like piecing it together with some other leftovers. And I ended up making a project bag using just weird little pieces of these leftover bits of linen and some other fabric that I had that I used to make a skirt. And so I made a project bag. And it's not like, well, it is lined, but it's not like interfaced. That's what I was looking for. So it's just the same on the inside. There's no pockets or anything. It's really simple. There's loose strings everywhere, but I was just wanting to use that fabric up because it meant a lot to me that she shared it with me anyway, because it's a beautiful fabric and she knew I was interested in what it was like, and it was nice to work with, and now I have that to remind me how nice it was. And so while I was sewing those project bags, we kind of, our local knitting group decided that the newer knitters, they were ready to do some socks. And so we kind of came up with some options, and we ordered some yarn, which isn't here yet. and it's going to be kind of a knit along, but you know, kind of at your own pace knit along. But because I'm such a dork, I decided I was going to make everybody kits when our yarn finally comes in. So I made us all little project bags. Each side is different. I mean, they're not fantastic. I'm not the best at this sort of thing, but yeah, so I have like this whole stack of project bags for all of us to put our little wintry socks in when the yarn gets here. So that's kind of, I mean, knitting adjacent, not really, yeah, not really knitting, but it's something that I finished and it took a lot of time, and yeah, so it's just plain on the end, not plain, but yeah, and it's interfaced. And I also made us little stitch markers. And I figure, I don't think anybody except Alisha may watch this, so as the secret's kind of safe. Nobody knows that I did this except for Alisha. Yeah, so I did that. Sorry, I had to throw that in an awkward place. Okay, what else did I do? Oh, and while I was sewing, because, you know, I'm not good at sewing. I'm not good at the math of sewing, the precision of it, but I still had this fabric that I had bought for a friend of my daughter's, and he's a big reader, and so I made a little Kindle pouch for him, and I wasn't going to show it here, but it's on the pile, and it's just kind of cute. So it's got like cryptids of national parks. And this is from White Sands, which is really close to us, but there's, I don't know. But his favorite is Mothman. Like anything that I could do crookedly, I did crookedly. But yeah, so I made this little Kindle pouch. It has a little elastic band and yeah, and it's quilted, like it's actually like got some batting in it. I just thought I would show you that since it was on the pile. We'll just throw that. All right. So that's all the stuff that I finished, which I want to say that's it. But yeah, that's it. Kind of a lot, but not like a ton. It's been a while. I don't know what happened last time I talked to you, but we went to Denver. I think I did talk about that, but we're back. Yeah, so what have I been working on since? I've been working on, I only brought this little thing. I pulled Nayo's blanket project that I'm making out, and I think this is probably a piece I already showed you. I just grabbed the one on top. But I've been working on these little pieces for a blanket for Nayo. And it's the Nectar blanket by Ysolda Teague. This hasn't been blocked yet. Once it's blocked, it'll look way better. And so it's a bunch of these all pieced together, and I'm using kind of an ombre yarn that does pinks and grays. And yeah, it's kind of in a big tote, so I didn't bring it over, but so just so you get an idea of what I've been working on. And what else? My friend Alisha, as I was saying, she's the ultimate enabler. So on her latest podcast, she was talking about this redesigned bag that she had gotten from Farmer's Daughter. And I had a little gift certificate, so I got one too. So it's a redesigned bag, that, and it just kind of, it's like a little rectangle, and it like that, and then it's got like a thing here, and it's got like little things on the side, elasticized pockets and stuff, and it's a really cool bag. I am super thrilled with it. So I thought I would show you. I had the gift certificate, and I knew I did not want to buy yarn because I do not need yarn. I don't need bags either, but a good bag is, yeah. It's kind of Bag-a-pollooza around here. Anyway, I'll talk about another one in a minute too. So what I'm working on, this is my Almondine, I don't know, sock by Ann Hansen. And I don't know, yeah, that's a little bit better. I finished the one sock and I am about halfway through the first repeat of the second sock. Nobody really does these things anymore, and I think they're super handy. If you work on socks, on DPNs, even on Magic Loop, these little things are super handy to me. Anyway, so yeah, that's how far I am on the second sock. But I kind of got distracted by the Starflight, which I don't think you can blame me for that, because that was a nice little sock project, and yeah, it went so fast. But yeah, so that's where I am on that. Size 0, 2.0 millimeter DPNs. These are my new favorite sock needles, and I can't remember. Knit Pro Basics? Yeah. They're just like boring, cheap needles, but they're like my new favorite knitting needles ever. They're so good. And I only have one pair, so I better not lose them. Because I don't want to buy any more needles either. I don't want to buy any more anything. I'm done with buying things. I'm done. Okay, so that's my next whip, and my goal right now is to finish a project every week. Not like on the dot, but I have 4 projects that I want to finish by the end of the year. So this is part of that. Here comes my cat, and he's going to be very loud. That's Slinky. What's up, buddy? All right, let's see. What else have I got? So that's the first project that I want to finish by the end of the year. The blanket would be a lovely one to finish also. And it's on the list, but that seems like a lot to ask of myself and my knitting abilities. Especially because like yesterday I didn't knit a stitch. I just read. I never just read anymore, so that was kind of a shocker, but super invested in a book, and I love it so much that I can't think of anything else. And it's all I want to do 24/7 is read this stupid book. But I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to talk about it. I want to finish the book first before, right? And then maybe I'll talk about it, and maybe I won't because anyway, this is my half and half triangles wrap. Pearl Soho. I forgot the designer. I forgot the designer, but it's for Pearl Soho. I am not that much further than I was, I think, last time. It's kind of hard to tell. I haven't used even I haven't even used like a quarter of the yarn yet. Like, this thing is just going to be massive. And while I would love to have this as a number 4 for the year, as part of the 4, it's probably not going to happen. This is primarily my travel knitting, because I don't really have to look at it or think much about it. So I kind of don't mind that it goes slow. I don't have a lot of projects like that anymore, except for like plain socks. And I really don't need any more plain socks. And I enjoy knitting plain socks, but I've been enjoying knitting pattern socks a lot lately. And yeah, so my voice is getting weird. It doesn't sound great, but yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Linen quill. Oh, I didn't talk. The Almondine socks. Oh, they're Yarnsmith's merino sock in a teal color. It's new-ish from Wool Warehouse, and I know a lot of like British podcasters that I watch have been using it lately, and I got some in an order, and just, yeah, I thought I would try it, and I really, really am enjoying that yarn. But this is Pearl Soho's Linen Quill, and I think this one's Twig Brown, and my other color will be Pale Mushroom. Yeah, so long way to go on this. I wish it was easier to show you, but it's just not. So, yeah. And this, my friend Emily got me this bag. She got me a little version too in a different color. Yeah, so Big Bed Press Everyday Tote. It's such a good bag. It's so, like, the fabric, it's so well made. The fabric's fantastic. And I will stop talking about bags. Because I don't want to enable you if you do not want to be enabled. But if you are in the market for a good, like, canvas, well-made, ethical, eco-friendly type thing, this is a fantastic bag for that. We'll put that there. All right, my last whip that I'm going to talk about today is my, what's it called? Every time this happened, this is another sea glass, and I can't remember the name sea glass for some reason. It's by Wool & Pine. This is the cardigan version, and it is going to look like a hot mess because you essentially just leave all of your ends until the end, and then you deal with them with this magic steek situation that they have invented. So Wool & Pine, sea glass. This is where all of my other leftovers are going. I pretty much divided my leftovers into pastels, which I used in that hat, and also my previous sea glass pullover, and then just kind of bright colors, which was the other hat. And this one is all of my, like, dark gothy colors and teal, because those are my favorites. And so this is, it's top down. I'll show you the fabric first. So it's just 1x1 color work, and then you do this special edging that will hopefully turn in and be nice and clean when all is said and done. And I've split for the, it's done the sleeves, and now I'm on the body. I'm only this far past splitting, and it's a V-neck. It's really hard to see, I'm sorry. And it will have kind of a shawl collar and a button band, and I may not put buttons on it. It may just be a band because I usually just wear cardigans open anyway. Yeah, and so it's using up a lot of little bits and pieces, and it's gonna feel really good when it's done, because I think I'll have like 20 yarns out of my Ravelry stash. I think it's at 317 right now, number of yarns. So not number of skeins, no, we are not going to talk about that, but the number of actual yarns entered. So if I can get below 300, that'd be great. And I am definitely putting this in. I would like to finish this by the end of the year. I know that's kind of a stretch. I do have a lot of big projects, but I also have a lot of little projects. So I'm hoping that I can make good progress. I mean, once I get going on it, it goes so quickly. So I just have to sit down and do it. And that's the problem, because it uses so many, like, you change colors every row. You change 2 colors every row. So that's why there's a bajillion ends. I'm a little bit nervous about that. But anyway, so you kind of have to have like an array of colors at your disposal, which takes up a lot of room. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get it all set up. And then once you sit down, of course, that's when the cat comes in and yells at you, or, you know, your kid needs you, or you have to go to the bathroom, or, you know, it's time to start dinner, that type of thing. So I don't know. But once you get going, it goes really quickly, in my opinion. So I think I'm making the 6th size. I want it to have a little bit more ease than my pullover. And I think I'm using bigger needles. It feels like a lot looser of a gauge. But yeah, it's just got a bunch of like little leftovers and stuff. So, I mean, I can't really tell you everything that's in it, but here's just a few off the top. Like, I have some of this, which is Sock Obsessions yarn, in a one of a kind color, I think. And I bought this when my dad was really sick, so think about my dad when I use that. And then I have a bunch of, I actually bought this specifically for this cardigan. This is Drop Slima. I don't know what colorway it is because I don't have my glasses, but yeah, I knew I wanted a color to kind of tie a bunch of other colors together. So that's what I got for like the button band and kind of the main color in the sweater. I'm not using it, I am using it a lot in the sweater, but cardigan, whatever. But yeah, like I'm using, like, this is some knit picks. This is some Ficolana Arwetta, Malabrigo, some hand dyed that I got in Texas, and this Madeline Tosh Whiskey Barrel. That's some knit picks, sock leftovers, and I have things like, this is one that I dyed, knitting nomad knitter, whatever, self-striping colors. Like, I'm using all of my little nuggets of sock yarn like that. And so hopefully I'll have that done fairly soon. I'm not spinning anything right now. Kind of stopped. Yeah, so I'm like mid-spin, working on all of the colors for my night shift shawl. But, you know, I'll pick that up when I feel like it. It's okay. There's no rush on anything. I also have a night and day cowl that I would like to finish by the end of the year, but that's not a priority. Really, I really would like to work more on Nayo's blanket, because I would just like to have this done and given to her. I think she's going to be super excited, and that's kind of the whole point. It's not the whole point. The whole point is that I enjoy knitting, but if I can make other people happy in the process, that's pretty cool. So I don't really want to talk about hard and fast rules for how my stash is going to look in the next year, or what my goals. Well, I'll talk a little bit about goals, but I really lost my mind this year. It was the first year where I actually went to like wool or fibery events. It's also the first year that I had knitting friends, and we meet and we, you know, discuss things and inspire each other. And anyway, my stash exploded, but my stash, I don't mind if my stash explodes for all the good reasons that I just mentioned. You know, like us knitting a project together, or I don't know, wanting to share a knitting experience with your friends. That's one thing, but why am I messing with my hair? I'm sorry. But it did for other reasons too. And those are the reasons that I kind of want to avoid next year. So I would really like to focus my creative energy on finishing projects and working through kind of my bucket list of knitting patterns that I want to use, or yarns that I want to use from here. So while I'm not going to be like, I'm on a yarn ban, because yeah, this is kind of a broken record for me, isn't it? I think it's a broken record for a lot of us, and I know I've discussed this before, but it bears repeating. I just have to keep trying, because I'm not being the pacasha that I want to be. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to give you like hard and fast rules, but I really, really would like to put that intent out there that I am going to be happy with what I have versus adding more. Once again, I am repledging to use my stash versus having stuff come in. However, I like to work on scrappy things. I don't have a lot of scraps, and I have a friend who has a lot of scraps. So there may be some fluctuations in my stash, but I do not want to be out purchasing more yarn, like with the intent of just having more versus using things creatively. So not accumulation, but creatively maybe using things outside of my established stash to create things. And I know like there's nothing that I really need, but like I said, I showed you those hats. I like to just make things for making things for just that sake, like for other people. I don't know. I'm going to make something anyway, so I feel like I just talk about this same stuff all the time and I don't learn my lesson and I keep buying and it's just kind of, to me, gross. Like I feel gross sitting here in front of all of this yarn and having, tabs open all the time from yarn stores or whatever, or getting constantly tempted by new things coming out, new releases, either be patterns or yarns or anything. So I'm just exhausted. Do you feel exhausted? I feel exhausted by this overwhelming desire to fill this void. And to be honest, I don't really think I have a huge emotional void to fill anymore. Like, yes, I get sad. Yes, I whatever. But I'm still emotionally buying when those emotions are there. So at that point, it's something else. And I don't know, like, I've had a lot of sad times over the last few years. And I can tell you, I mean, obviously that's when a lot of my purchasing was. I don't have those anymore. I still I don't know. Something within me is not well. And I think I need to dig a little deeper to find out what that is and not have it manifest itself in yarn. And making knitting plans that I cannot sustainably do. Like overpromising, to, I don't know. I just need to chill, really. I just need to chill and I need to enjoy it. And yeah. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving if you celebrate. We don't really. My husband's not American, and I don't really feel like I want to celebrate the colonization of people. Like, I don't know. It's not my favorite holiday. I like the spirit of helping, the spirit of being thankful and gratitude and stuff, but I have a problem with all the rest of it. Anyway, and so does my daughter. So we kind of just chill. We eat, whatever, but nobody likes turkey except for me. Oh, yeah. I don't know. So we didn't really have like a super eventful Thanksgiving, which is fine. Probably have recorded since Thanksgiving. I don't remember. We're not really big into holidays, period. So like while we do, some Christmas things, like my main thing is, going to see Christmas lights. It's like my favorite thing in the world. And we have some good Christmas lights in town. And then we go see a Christmas show at a local chuck wagon place that my friend works at and my daughter works at, and it's super fun. And a holiday party with friends, which is always something we look forward to. Like, I don't know. I just don't like the whole gift thing of Christmas. why am I talking about weird stuff? I don't know. I think the weather is making me like feel like I'm supposed to be grumpy and I'm really not. And really all I want to do is get off of here and finish my book that I'm reading. So maybe I'll do that. I'll stop boring you with all this weird stuff that we all talk about and we all feel, and yet I feel like ruminating. And that's not really helping myself or you. So, um, thank you for hanging out with me. And yeah, I hope you have a great time, great holiday coming up. I will probably see you before or around or immediately after. I'll definitely come in before the end of the year and let you know how those. Let's see, what are my 4 projects? I forgot already. The socks, almondine socks. I want to finish my night and day cowl, my sea glass cardigan, and Niall's blanket. Those are my 4 that I'm going to focus on. So that will be my goal when I check in with you next, is to have an update on hopefully all 4 of those. Hopefully significant progress, at least, the very least significant progress. And I will probably cast something new on because I've got that itch too, and that's okay. You know what? That's okay. Go with it. 4 projects is a lot, and I think I have 5. Yeah, because I've got yeah. That's a lot. I usually only like to have 2 or 3. So I don't know. Anyway, I'll stop talking. Love you guys. Hope you have a fantastic holiday ahead. Or not. If you don't celebrate a holiday, that's great too. I hope you're just fantastic. I hope you're at peace with yourself. I hope somebody is appreciating you. I appreciate you. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Love you guys. Take care.